friends. They're wiggling. Try that again. Hi friends, welcome to episode 174 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha, and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, and today is Sunday, May 5th. I have a bunch of things here to talk about. Let me show you, because the spread is making me very happy. Ta-da! So, we are going to chat about some crafty things. So, let's start out with some finished objects. I have a bunch of finished objects. The first we're going to talk about is one that's like, for all intents and purposes, finished. They still need heels, but I don't feel like doing them right now because I am over these socks. And these are my 2 at a time socks. This yarn is Patton's Crochet in the Northern Lights stripes colorway, something like that. But once upon a time, I had 2 skeins of this main yarn, and then I lost one somehow. And I had already started making the socks, so instead of putting them in indefinite hibernation, I decided to do 2 at a time socks. 2 at a time afterthought socks. I don't know what they're called, but basically you knit a tube and then you cut in for the cuffs or the toes, whatever, and then you cut in for afterthought heels. What I ended up doing was cuff to cuff. So I started on this cuff and then knit like this all the way down, and then I knit this cuff. If ever I make socks like this and I know I'm gonna do it like ahead of time, like if I know I only have 50 grams and this is how I'm going to make the socks in order to knit the whole 50 grams into the body, I start with the toes so that they go toe, long body, another toe, and then cut it in half and then do both of the cuffs. That way the cuffs match. So this is a German twisted cast on, and this is Jenny or Judy's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And it bothers me a little bit that visually they don't match, but whatever. I wasn't gonna go through. I mean, I guess I could have cast on a cuff, knit the cuff, and then Kitchener stitched it together, but that sounds like a lot. And clearly they don't even have heels yet, so all of that was not getting done. So yeah, they're done for now because I don't feel like knitting the heels. I still have my other pair of striped socks that I made or that I finished a couple of episodes ago that still needs heels. So one day when I'm struck with knit the heels energy, I will cut in for afterthought heels in both of these pairs of socks. But until then, they're tube socks. Yeah, I knit these on a 2.5 millimeter needle, and they are 56 stitches. Usually I do a 2.25 millimeter needle and 64 stitches, but Patton's Crochet is a bit thicker than your typical fingering weight sock yarn. So plus less stitches means a faster sock, allegedly. But she was working on these forever. So those are my first finished objects, and they're gonna go back on the shelf waiting for their heels. My next 2 finished objects are Mr. Grinch hats. So at work I have a Grinch stuffed animal on a shelf on my wall, And my plan for this year, because I want to keep him like in my decor, and I kind of felt like it would be a little bit weird just to have like Christmas stuff up all year. So I'm decking him out for each month of the year. Totally missed April. But I made his hat. So basically each month he gets a new hat that he wears that has something to do with the month or holidays in the month or something like that. So this was April, and it was his Easter hat with a little pastel colors and a little bow. I'm still going to take it to work and put it on him and take a picture of him in it, because it is too cute not to like document. And then this is his May hat, with a flower, because you know April showers brings May flowers. So here's his little May hat. And I will be putting this, it will be on him throughout the month of May. The next time I'm going to be on campus, I'm going to be on campus on Monday. Okay, so I'll be there tomorrow. So he'll have his May hat throughout May, and that makes me very happy. So I need to get on top of making his June and July hats so that I don't miss a month like I did April. And then like I had my April hat done like halfway through the month, but I just kept forgetting it at home when it was time for me to go to campus. So there's that. So my two Mr. Grinch hats. I'm just tossing everything in the finished talking about it bin at my feet. Let's see. My last crochet finished object is this little guy. So the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you followed me for any length of time, well, not any length of time, but you know, for a year or so, you would know that each May I have a project that I do called Mental Health Awareness Love Bombs, and it's basically I don't even know what you would call it. It's a thing that I do where I crochet or knit or make. I'm saying make this year because I also have felt ones that I did, but I make these awareness ribbons for mental health awareness, and I hang them around in public or set up somewhere to like give them out to people. And in addition to the green ribbon, I put a little like hang tag on with a word of encouragement, you know, just like to make someone else smile, you know what I mean? So I have a bunch of those that I'm working on, and while I was looking through all of my green like yarn and stuff, I found this little skein of like wool embroidery floss kind of stuff that I had gotten from a thrift store. So I decided to take that whole little skein and make a tiny awareness ribbon keychain for myself. So this is gonna go on my keys, and yeah. So part of me feels like maybe I should make tiny ones like this, and make keychains as well, because the awareness ribbons that I make, they're about this big and they hang. I'll show you some in a little bit, but they hang, but you can't put them on like your keychains or anything like that. A lot of people that I have talked to in the past that have gotten them from me will like hang them from their rear view mirror in their car or things like that, right? I have one hanging from the shelf in my office, so you know, stuff like that. But I kind of like this idea of having it as a keychain as well. But I made that, and hanging off of this are my two latest resin crafts. I don't know how I went down the rabbit hole of resin and nail polish, but if you paint the inside of a silicone mold with nail polish and then put resin in it and cure it, the nail polish kind of gets like attached to the resin, and it's a way that you can add color or design to your resin crafts in a very like simple and accessible way. So when I learned that, I decided that I needed to try that with my glow in the dark nail polish, because go big or go home. So I had these like a star and a moon mold. So I painted like the inside with a couple layers of the nail polish, and then put the resin in, and they do glow. They don't glow super bright, probably because I didn't put enough nail polish, but they totally glow, and it makes me very, very happy. So I have a set of glow in the dark celestial stitch markers / earrings. Very happy. Side note, I love making my stitch markers with these kind of earring backs or earring wires, because if I make a matching set, I can actually wear them as earrings, which I definitely do. Even though I don't really take out my hoops, so I just attach the earrings to the hoops. It's fine. But yeah, so I'm still enjoying resin craft and like exploring that kind of craft space. In the basket, let's see. While we're talking about earrings, I have this finished pair of earrings that I made for my friend Tiffany. Recently, it was her 1-year anniversary of getting her ears pierced. So I made her this set of earrings to match a bracelet that she got. And I had a lot of fun just kind of like diving back into like the earring, specifically earring making space. I had to do a lot of problem solving because I had a vision of what I wanted the earrings to look like, but I didn't have all of the necessary supplies. Like I wanted them to be like a post earring instead of like the regular like fish, what do you call them, fish hook ear wires that you normally see a lot in like crafting earring supplies and stuff. So I ended up I had earring posts, but they were the kind that were meant to be glued on the back of a charm or something, so they weren't finished on the front. So I ended up taking these connector beads that I had, which were just round gold tube looking, not tube, but like round gold beads with a little loop on the bottom where you could attach things to. And I put a drop of resin into the bead, and then put my ear wire, my post ear wire in the bead, cured it so that was all one piece, painted it all gold with a couple different shades of gold nail polish to match the overall gold tone of the piece. And then I was able to attach the dangly bits of the earring to the post that I had created. And while I do love a good brainstorming, problem-solving adventure, the next day I went out and bought actual post earrings with the loop to hang the dangly bits from, because if I ever want to do this again, I don't want to build that from scratch. So she has a enormously one-of-a-kind pair of earrings. She loved them. I was super happy that she loved them. And yeah, maybe I will dabble more into actual earring making. I don't know. We'll see. But the last two finished objects that I have are machine knit tops. This one, I had started recording clips while I was making this top, but I don't think I'm even going to put that video together because the top came out too big, and I think I want to do some edits on the top, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that yet. So this is the top, and you can see it's like the same kind of shape as this one, but I don't, like I've said this multiple times over the past few episodes, just like the concept of the size of my body is just not clicking. Like I really don't understand why I can measure myself and that is a concrete number. But then when I take that same number and I go to make something, and it only really happens when I'm scratch making, which is very weird. But when I take that same number and I apply it to whatever it is that I'm making, I don't believe the number, and I always make it bigger because in my head, I guess I'm bigger than I am. It's weird. It's weird times in there. But I made this. This yarn is Big Twist Party. I'm a little bit in love with this yarn. This is the second top that I've made out of this yarn, and I recently bought another like tops quantity of this yarn in an orange color, and I don't know what it is about this particular yarn, but it's just acrylic, but it's very soft and I just love it, and I like the colors, makes me happy. But it's too wide here, but that's not like a huge, actually here being wide is fine. Here being wide is where the problem is, because the size, like this part, is too much. So I think what I need to do is that, and I don't want to, what I'll probably end up doing is just sewing on my sewing machine a seam to bring that in, and then maybe taking it through the serger to make sure it's all secured. But I like it. It's just too much fabric right here. I might also just rip it out and start over, which would be a better thing to do, honestly. Especially since I did it on my machine, so it wasn't like a whole lot of hand knitting that I'd be ripping out. I think I might do that. This might get frogged and redone. My next machine knit piece is wonderful. I wore it to church yesterday. I took some pictures in it after church. We went by the library, and I took a couple selfies in there. And I only glanced at them. So if I like any of them, I might put one here. If not, this is the piece. So this yarn is Loops and Threads Ombre Hues, and I love it. I did so many new skills with this piece. I knit the back. It's of course knit in pieces. It has a back panel, a front panel, and then 2 sleeves. All the ribbing is hand knit. The bottom edge is just a crochet chain through the stitches. Yeah, so the new skills that I worked on in this was the neckline shaping. So I have decreases right here. There are no decreases along this side. So I basically had to put stitches on hold on my machine and then only work on one side, cast that side off, and then cast off my hold stitches, then work along the other side doing the decreases. So that was a fun adventure. In between that machine knit piece and this machine knit piece, I bought machine weights. So the machine itself comes with a hem bar, like this piece of vinyl that you use to weigh down the yarn or the fabric as you're knitting, so it gives even tension along all of your stitches. The only thing with that is, like, as you're knitting, when it gets longer, there's no way to like bring it up and make it continue. So what I have been doing when my pieces would get too long is just rolling it and clipping it, which is not ideal. So I bought a set of little weights, and they just kind of like hook into the fabric and give that additional tension as your piece gets longer. So I was able to use those in making sure that my tension was correct, going through all of these decreases. Yeah, I really like the way it came out. You can tell a little, oh yeah, you can tell a lot actually. You can tell that this gauge is way looser than this gauge, and that's because I steamed and stretched the bejesus out of the body, because it was a little bit too tight. It wasn't as loose as I wanted it to be. So I steamed and stretched and steamed and stretched, and I really like how it fits now. And I didn't do that to the sleeve, so they're still a little bit squishy. If you look closely, you will see like areas like this and this, where, and this, where I don't know what was happening, but the tension got wonky, and so my stitches got pulled real tight. But I think it is okay. You know, like, this is my first really big project on my knitting machine. And I'm really proud of it. Onward and upward from there, man. I'm having a lot of fun with that knitting machine. So those are all of my finished projects, and now we'll go into works in progress. So the first work in progress that I have is like mostly finished, but I just have to do a lining on it. I don't have to do a lining. No, you have to do a lining on it. It's a crochet bag, so if you don't put a lining in a crochet bag, it'll stretch out, and or your like pins and stuff will fall out of it. I don't even know what I'm gonna put in this bag, honestly. The whole reason that I made this bag was because Akira of the Knitting Annihilator podcast has joined the crochet side. I'm really excited about it. But she has been using the Granny Square all-in-one yarn by Red Heart to practice her Granny Square making. And so we've been chatting back and forth, like if she runs into an issue with like how the construction of the Granny Square is going, if she has questions about like any crochet questions or anything, she's like sending me messages, so we'll chat back and forth. So I started this project so that I would have a Granny Square using that yarn on the go, so that I could give her tips specifically using that Granny Square pattern, right? So here is the bag. I have been seeing these little like fanny pack looking, crochet bags online, like on Instagram and stuff, for a while, and every time I see them I'm like, oh, that's really cute, I want one. So here she is. I don't know what I plan to put in here because I'm a big bag girly. So it's just made of 4 granny squares, and yeah, just seamed together like that. So what I did was I worked the granny squares out to the 4th round with this yarn. The 5th round is like a white cream color yarn, cream color. So I just worked out to the 4th yarn so that it would just be the purples and the blues. And then I did the top edge with the cream, or it's white. I want to say it's dingy white, but it's white that has been close to the purple for a really long time, so it's purplish. And then I got this lavender from my stash to do the top edge and the strap. The last part that I need to put in here is a lining, and I'm just using this blue cotton fabric. It's like a fat quarter, and a zipper from my stash, because if you did not know, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell project bags. It has been on hiatus for a very long time right now, primarily because I can't find like a good time to sew where somebody is not working in the house, like work from home type working. So, and the plan is to use all of this fabric on the inside so that when you open the bag, you see this fabric, and then when you look through the holes, you'll also see this fabric. So I don't know when I'm going to do that sewing, because it's not like a super pressing project, but it is a project that I want to finish. And it's cute, right? Like this will be really cute for like walking around at a flea market or something like that. Or if I only need to have, you know, my wallet, my keys, lip, chapstick, my phone, you know, that's what this is for. This is something that I do with whenever I do a crochet bag that has a crochet strap. I'll crochet the strap, and then I do a row of slip stitches down each edge, and that stops the strap from stretching. I do the same thing in these straps. I put two rows of slip stitches down the middle of the crochet strap, and that just stops them from stretching out. A lot of people will do like crochet cords, or I've heard the thermal stitch is supposed to be really good. I tried to do the thermal stitch for some project I was working on, and it was just really, really thick. So I was like, that's not the vibe I'm going for. So I think my straps will always be some sort of crochet, and then the slip stitch for stability. The next work in progress I have is living in this cute little bag that was made by Lori of the Lori Lulu podcast. Lori, is that the name of your podcast? Lori Lulu? I feel like it is. But she and Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast came to Orlando last year, or maybe the year before that. I don't know. Terrible judge of time. In the past, they came, and Lori gave me this bag. We did like a little round robin swap. It was adorable. My project that's living in here is for one of my aunties, which I'm just now realizing that it's in an Ohana Means Family bag. And family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. But this project is a pair of socks. It is the Laid Edges socks by, they are the Laid Edges socks by Kelly McPherson. And I have one finished. This is what it looks like. The yarn that I'm using is by the Crochet Cove, and it is her DK base in the color Middle School Blues. So that's what it looks like. And this is how far I am on the second sock. Ooh, I need to recake this. This is how far I am on the second sock. Just a couple cable repeats past the heel. This pattern is so simple. I love it. Highly recommend for DK weight socks. They fly off the needle. This is the Crochet Cove's logo and info, and it is comfy DK, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it is Middle School Blues. I love it when I remember something correctly. But this is how much of the yarn I have left. I will have a little nugget left over after I finish these. But I showed them to my mom and she was like, oh, she's gonna love them. So I'm very happy about this project. While I'm here, because I also discovered that I have these in this bag, we can just chat real quick about the mental health awareness love bombs before I get back into my other works in progress. So like I said earlier, I make these mental health awareness love bombs, and I call them love bombs because they're like yarn bombing, where you go out and you like put a yarn project on something out in public. But these are made specifically to like spread love and joy. What I will do is take, like, you know, my green scraps or green yarns that I'm not going to use in something else, and just sit and make as many as I can. I don't know how many I have right now. I think I just surpassed 25, but I might even have 30 now that I have these extra ones here. But this is what they look like, and they have little hang string, and then on this end is where I'm going to put the tag that says MHA love bombs, like hashtag MHA love bombs, mental health awareness, and like a little encouraging word. If you have a phrase that you would like me to include on these, you can leave it in the comments. If you follow me on Instagram, I have been posting my little graphics that ask, what does your heart need to hear now? Pretend that your reflection in the mirror is someone else, a stranger who's having a hard time. What would you say to encourage that person? And what would you say to your past self? Like, what encouragement would you give to your past self? So those are the three things that I think allow us to think about what I would say to help someone else feel better, like when we frame it that way. So on Instagram, I've been collecting responses that I'm going to use in the the hang tags for these. I have all of these. These are all ready for their hang tags. I'm also making felt ones this year because I always want to have more, because whenever I run out, I always feel like, man, if I had one more to give to someone else, like maybe that person really needed it. So I always try to figure out ways to make more of them faster. So enter felt. So I have some felt ones that I did, and then earlier today I cut more felt strips. This is a lot. So there's that. And then I have these that I just found that I need to steam and sew together. And I have this skein of yarn. This is like some acrylic DK yarn that Michael sold years ago, and it has just been chilling in my stash. So I figured I'd go ahead and work this up. So I have some working in this yarn, and the yarn that I made these out of is, I got it at a thrift store somewhere, and it's called Sayel, I think. And this is old. So I have 2 skeins left of this. All of these came from one skein. So my plan is to not crack into these just yet, but finish that. I'm gonna look and see if I have any other small leftover balls in my stash and use those out. And then if I still want to make more after those and the felt ones, then I'll crack back into these. But my plan for the mental health MHA love bombs this year is to share them at the university where I work. In my head, I I'm visualizing a kind of like a poster, but I'm gonna work it up on my knitting machine and have like no, it's a banner. That's what it is. I'm going to have a banner, and the title of it is going to be "Take What You Need," and I'll hang all of the love bombs on there and put it somewhere where the students, as they're walking through, or like as they're walking among campus, they can see them and take them. I probably need to collaborate with like our campus ministries just to make sure that I'm like legal in setting something up on campus. But I want to do that. I want to have one on my office door, and I want to put one like out somewhere. But I think that sharing these with the students specifically would be really good. In the past, I've taken them to like the plant swap and like given them to people at the plant swap. I have actually hung them randomly around town. But just like this year specifically, I was thinking about how for me, college was the darkest. Those were some of the darkest years in my life. So being able to think like, man, if college Kalisha had experienced or like had come across someone who was doing something like this, it may have given like a little like spark of light in those years, you know what I mean? So I'm just hoping that any student that is feeling overwhelmed or a little bit hopeless, because the university that I work in is very it's very healthcare based, so it's not like your regular liberal arts college. So they are very stressed. The students are. So I just hope that this can give them a, you know, like that encouragement, like you can do this. You know, if you have put it in your mind that this is something that you want to do, and you are being led to these different like majors and occupations, then have faith in yourself and have faith in the path that you've been put on, that you can do this. So the mental health awareness love bombs are going up at my school, and judging by how many I have, I'm probably still gonna have enough to like spread amongst the public. I'm gonna aim to put these up like the third week of May, so that we have that whole like last week for them to be up and like out at the university, and so that it gives me time to like really make a lot of these. So those are the mental health awareness love bombs. If you want to join in, definitely make some, share them, give them to a loved one or a friend. Make some for yourself with those words that you need to hear. Hang them up where you can see them, and share them on Instagram. We have a hashtag. It's hashtag MHA Love Bombs, and it's a small thing that we can do to encourage one another and to bring, you know, hope, a smile to someone else. One of the things that I think about a lot is how mental health struggles have that kind of, the lie that comes with them is that you're alone in whatever it is that you're dealing with, that you are in the middle of your boat. And I've said this before, you're in that boat all by yourself in the middle of the ocean, and there's nobody who could possibly understand what that's like. But the reality of it is that there are other people who understand what it's like, and you are all sitting in the same boat looking out. And because you're looking out, you don't realize that there's people around you that have that understand your position, that understand your experience. And my hope is that these little things make us look side to side and to turn around and look inside the boat so that we can all see like, hey, you know, I'm going through a hard time right now, but in my hard time, I can understand and empathize with this other person's hard time. And in that, we can each tell each other, like, we're not alone. Like, we're here. You know, I'm not just struggling out here in the middle of this ocean by myself. Like, you know, like we're here. Yeah. So I hope you join in and share just encourage someone else. Share a smile. It's those little things. Like, the impact of a little thing is amazing. And I think that every year when I do this, I always have that feeling of like, is it really worth it? But it really is. And for me, whenever I am feeling down and like my existence in this world is completely unnecessary and that I could disappear and it wouldn't matter to anybody, whenever I start feeling like that, one of the things that always helps me combat that is doing something for someone else. And like, if I can make a little awareness ribbon that says you can do the hard things, and I can give it to someone else, and they're like, you know what, I needed to hear that today, then me being here right now was worth it. So, surprise crying. Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready. So yeah, mental health awareness love bombs. We're here for it. We're gonna keep doing this as long as I have fingers. All right. Next work in progress. My next work in progress is a top that I partially regret starting. I only regret starting it because it is so involved, and it's only really involved right now because it's just starting. So I've got a lot of shaping happening. There is a lace pattern. It's a lot. I don't know why I thought it wasn't going to be a lot, because it is a Joji Locatelli pattern and she be doing it. But this is the Adriata top by Joji Locatelli. And this is how far I have gotten. I'm working on the back piece. And I mean, it's pretty. It's going to be very pretty. Like, look at that. Look at that lace work. It's going to be very pretty. But, man, oh man. It's a lot. And, even though I say I regret starting it because it's hard, it's pretty. And now I'm just like, nah, we gotta keep going. The yarn that I'm using is 100% bamboo, Lucky brand from Joann, and this is the color Dusty Cedar. I think it's gonna look really nice on me. I think this is gonna be a really nice summer top. I'm very excited about it. But, you know, looking at how long this little bit took me, it's a good thing I live in Florida and summer is everlasting. That's all I got to say. So hopefully you'll see some progress on that. It is not a walk around project. This is a sit down and mark your rows kind of project. Like, there's no way I'm memorizing this pattern, this lace pattern. And I'll put in a picture. I think I did, or whatever. There'll be a picture. But you can see like the lace goes down the shoulder, along the edge, and then down the middle. Because I want it to be done, I might just do the lace here and then stop it here. And then just knit straight. Maybe. I don't know. I might get really good at this lace and be like, you know what, we're good. And continue working on down the road. But as current Kalisha, I don't see that lace going all the way down the body of this top. Especially since I have to do the front, and that's more shaping and lace stuff, and woo. But I like it. Smack myself in the face. I really like this pattern. I'm glad I bought it. Thumbs up. If you want a knitting designer who's gonna challenge you, Hohi Locatelli. My last crochet work in progress is not a whole lot to see, but it's just this bit. This is going to be a crochet head wrap. I'll put a screenshot of the finished piece. This is a pattern that I found on Instagram by that artist Tony, and I saw it on my, I think I was on my like explore page or something like that, and then one of my college friends tagged me in it and was like, hey, look at this, I saw this and I thought of you, like on the same day. So I was like, well, obviously that is a sign from the universe that I need to make this. In addition to that, I have always wanted a crochet head wrap because I wear head wraps. I love them. They're great. I like being able to cover up my hair when I feel like it. But as my hair has gotten longer, having like my crochet hats and things like that is not really feasible, especially like if I want to cover my hair with it. I remember back in the day when I had my Orion beanie and I could just put all of my locks in there. They were so cute and little, and now they're like chunky and have a lot of lint in them. This is what I get for wearing that peach top yesterday. But anyway, so this is going to be like a tube that holds all of your locks in, and then it has a strap that wraps around. So I'm hoping that it will not be, that it will be like comfortable to wear, because if it is, I'm about to make a bunch of them, because sometimes I just don't want my hair like out for the public, you know what I mean? So this yarn is Big Twist Value in the dark teal colorway. I bought 2 skeins of this like a while ago because I wanted to make a top or something out of it, but cracked into it for this. But I do love this color, so I might just have to go buy another skein so that I can make a top, because this is a very nice blue. All right, that is the last yarny work in progress. The last work in progress is this. Last week, actually last Sunday, I went to a class at the library called Altered Books, and it is basically a class that teaches you how to do like a scrapbook inside of an actual book. So I was ripping pages out of an actual book of a story was made me feel some kind of way, but was also really like exciting and like liberating. So the idea is to create like little scrapbook pages inside the book and put your pictures, your mementos, stuff like that in it. And I think what I want to use this for is memory keeping for like my family, because the name of the book was The Infinite Pieces of Us. Yeah, The Infinite Pieces of Us. And aside from the fact that the book itself is very cliche with like the space and like the blues, purpley kind of Pisces colors, the idea of infinite pieces immediately made me think about like, this is something where whenever Lamar and I go some random place or do some random thing, I can keep those in here, where it's just like little pieces of Lamar and Kalisha's life, right? And I do have a scrapbook. I did go through a phase of scrapbooking being like it for me. So that hobby is definitely hibernating, but taking this class has kind of poked the bear a little bit. So I'm excited to do this, and I'm really excited about the idea of it being in a book that I have to do something to. And I don't know why that makes me like happy, or like that makes me feel more inspired, as opposed to a blank scrapbook, you know, starting with a blank scrapbook page. But I'm excited to get into this. This is a recurring class, so I did register for the next one, which is in June. So hopefully by then I will have pages that I have finished, so that I can show the teacher like, look, this is what I did while I was at home. But I put little chips. They had a CR from Kalisha Ryan, and I did a like pockets. How can I show these to you? Little pockets like that for like stuffing things. I did this just because it was pretty. She had napkins that had images on, and if you separate out the layers of a napkin and then glue it down, it looks like it's just printed on the page, which was really pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna put on this page, but I love it. Also, I love magnolias because they just smell so good. And then this is just a little piece of another page that I had ripped out, and I want to put like maybe a family picture in here so that it's framed. And then I just have the rest of the book. I did resist the urge to actually start reading it and just be like, you know what, book, I'm not going to read your story. You are here to go under the knife. So I had fun in that class, and I'm excited to continue that. Stash positions. So was this also last Sunday? Man, last Sunday was a big day. Last Sunday was the Apopka Art and Foliage Festival, and I went to poke around and see what there was to see. And as I was I walked to the festival, because they were charging for parking, and I do not like paying for parking for an event that I don't know if I'm gonna buy something. I don't want to pay for parking to walk around for free. So I parked yonder, and then I walked to the place. And while I was there, I did find a couple little plants. I bought Lamar, I guess we're getting into plant mama life and whatnot as well, but I bought Lamar a bonsai tree, looks like this. And then I bought myself a Stapelia something. I'll put it on the screen, but it looks like this. It's the newest addition to my weird plant collection. But as I was walking back to the car, I passed by this little thrift store that is never open. It's open on 2 days out of the week, and I feel like those days be moving. But I went in there, I was able to go in, poke around, and they had fabric. All their fabric was on sale for 50% off, which was really great because most of the thrift stores that I go to regularly don't even have fabric. So I was able to get a stack of fabrics, and that I'm really excited about the patterns and stuff. But these are the two that I'm really, really excited about. So I have this one, which has the sunflowers on it. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this, but it's feeling like skirt. I don't think I have enough for a dress, but I definitely have enough for a skirt. So that might happen with this. And then this. This is like almost like a canvas material, kind of, but I love the pattern, and I think I want to make pants out of this. Yeah, they will be the most, but I'm excited about that. So these are the two patterns that are the two fabrics that I was like the most excited about in the stash, or in the collection that I got. I think I got maybe 5 or 6 different patterns, like different cuts, and the most expensive one after the 50% off was like $2. So that was great. Yeah, the last part in Plant Mama Life and Whatnot is we are on Hoya Bloom Watch, and I am so crunk. Like, I wouldn't move it so that you could see it, but it is my Hoya Carry, and that is a Hoya that has heart-shaped leaves. And right now it has, we'll just count 3. It has 3 peduncles. And so a peduncle is basically like the point on the Hoya where the flowers come out of. And the way that Hoya flowers develop is like they have a cluster. So they come out multiple flowers from one point, kind of like this, like a little bunch. And I'm just, every day I come outside and I'm looking at it like, is it time? And I'm just so nervous, like, that they're not going to, you know, bloom, but they look like they're developing really well. I keep checking for it to make sure that there's nothing, like no shenanigans happening in that plant. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The day they bloom, I'm gonna be insufferable. There will be so many pictures on the Instagrams of these flowers. Also, some Hoya blooms smell like chocolate, and I have not searched Hoya Carry blooms. I have not Googled it. I have not like looked them up or anything, so I don't know what they're gonna look like. So it's gonna be a huge surprise. When my plants are happy and doing things, it makes me incredibly happy. Hoya Bloom Watch 2024. We are here. I've been taking pictures. Y'all are gonna get a time lapse, not a time lapse, like a slideshow of these peduncles developing, but I'm screaming. I'm so excited. It's like it is the bright spot of my bright spots. Yeah. But that is everything. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, whatever it is when you watch this. Leave a comment down below of a bright spot and or a word of encouragement for my mental health awareness love bombs. So that's everything. Thank you so much for being a part of my universe. Bye, friends.